Hi, you're right. I can't be here today as I'm with the year 12s with their very important oral exams. So I'm just creating a short video just to explain the task today so you're clear about what you need to do. It's really important that you all do this and you all submit your work at the end, all right? So I can make sure that we're all up to date. Today we're going to be looking at infographics as a text type, and we're also going to look at the theme of biodiversity, which I didn't know a lot about until I started teaching this unit, and it's quite fascinating, really. So, what I'd like to do first of all, I'd like you to watch this video. It's about biodiversity, and it follows on that idea that we've had of sort of tackling a new sustainability issue at the beginning of each lesson, and then moving on into some language-based analysis and text type analysis. So, the key terms are biodiversity, climate change, synthesis, information. And I'd like you to answer the following three questions in your notes. So, first of all, what is biodiversity? What things affect biodiversity? And how can we help? And try and add a bit of detail to this because it is quite a complicated issue. All right. Once you've done that, I want you to think about what an infographic is. Okay. And you've probably seen them online before. An infographic is a visual representation of information, and it is often showing data or facts using a combination of images and text. And with all these things, the image and the text, they work together. Um, so why is it that they exist? Well, they allow for very complex information to be presented in a way that's easy to understand and interesting and visually appealing as well. So, what do we look for? Well, when we're looking at infographics, what we do is we need to look at the first impression. So, what is it that this is about? It could be linked to a particular organization that has a logo and a color scheme, for example, that we might be familiar with. Um, how is the information put together? So, what's the story? Okay, so the data will be there, and sometimes it starts with like a problem or an issue, and then it moves on to telling you potential solutions. But the facts are not definitely never ever put in a random order. They're always put in a logical, clear order to tell a story. All right. So you need to look out for that. And then the purpose. Ultimately, what's the purpose of the infographic? Is it trying to persuade? Is it trying to be informed? Is it trying to argue? Is it trying to a call to action? Is it trying to get you to do something? So you need to think about all those things. So what I've done is I've compiled some questions. And what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to select one of the following infographics, okay? So we've got this one here that's very straightforward. But actually, this it's deceptively simple. If you spend a bit of time on that, it actually is quite unusual, and it's actually quite clever. So what you need to do is you need to have a look at that and try and work out what's going on there. And there's some questions to help you analyze. So you're going to pick one of the following three. So you can look at that one. Just so you know, the Stand Your Ground law is a law that's been enacted in a few states in America. Just to give you a bit of context for this particular one, if you choose to do this one. In America, if someone invades your house, your private dwelling, you're allowed to use lethal force. You're allowed to, basically shoot that person because they're invading your property and putting you and potentially your family at risk. The stand your ground law carries the same logic through, but it applies to anyone in the street. So if before this law you had to run away if you were attacked, or you could get done for assault or murder or attempted murder or something like that, the law changed, and he said that if people were being attacked or threatened, they didn't have to run away; they could stand their ground. And if they were persistently attacked and they feared for their life, that they could use lethal force in the same way that you could if you're in your own house. So this chart is to show what's happened to the number of gun deaths in Florida since that law has been enacted. Okay, so you can answer those questions there for this one, or you can choose the next one, which is about the effect of the greenhouse effect on global warming. All right. So this has got a nice structural element to it, like I was talking about before. Again, there's lots of questions there on the side that I'd like you to answer to make sure you understand this one. And then finally, I love the use of images on that one there. I think that's really good. And finally, there's this one about elephants. Now, this one's probably a little bit more complicated than the rest, so if you'd like a challenge, you could opt for this one. Again, we've just got the same series of questions pretty much as before. This is slightly different on each slide just to make sure they fit. There's a bit more information of this one, but I think this one's been put together really, really nicely. It's presented beautifully as well. It's got the logo in the bottom and things and contact information, so I quite like how it's been put together. So I'd like you to select one of the following 3 infographics, and I want you to complete the analysis in full sentences and in as much detail as possible, and then submit that by the end of the lesson. Okay, so just to recap, this task is to watch the video and answer the questions. Then I want you to just read through this stuff on infographics to make sure you understand it. And then I'd like you to select one of the following infographics and answer the questions to produce some analysis of your chosen infographic. All right. Now, I might not be able to answer many questions tomorrow because I am in exams all day or moderating exams all day. So I will do my best. So if you do get to me, just try your best with this. If you're not sure, rewatch the video, and it should be straightforward. But if you do have problems, do email me. I will try my best to get back to you. But just be aware that I'm very extremely busy tomorrow with the external exams. Okay, thank you very much. Cheers, guys.